Okay, everybody, if anybody's here, we don't have a light that we're going to be using, which is, we do have a flashlight. Actually, let me go get that flashlight. So hang out real fast. Okay, I don't know how much power we got either. But some loud rumbling was happening. We got some video just a while ago. So we shot in the direction of the thunder, which was straight ahead. And now the thunder had moved to the other side of to the south of us. Now every place that we're out here right now is private property, plenty of land. But these predators know, because we just got hit with a major storm, that they know that we're outside. And we had shot a couple of times, and it was getting kind of heavy thunder sounds. And so we shot a couple of times in the direction of the thunder, and we got that on video. And the thunder quieted down. So this is also the technique that we were talking about. Use your alarms. Sometimes use your shotgun. Let them know that that's not thunder. So as you can see or hear, the thunder has quieted down. Only because we were shooting out here in a safe direction, but also in the direction of the thunder. So they knew that we were shooting at the noise that they were making. Now, this is a technique to use. Use the car alarms, use the bells to signal, but also from time to time, use your gun, use your shotgun, use bird shot, whatever you have. And they're still way in the distance now, but they're not on our side, in our area. Of course they are, but they're not vocal anymore. They've decided to be a little quiet around us, which if we got it on video, and it was a heavy while ago, but now they're in the distance. If I had Lee Track right here right now to hold the phone, I would be shooting right now. But she's busy right now. How you doing, Judy? And they can see us. They see us out here on the porch, but they also see us looking. And I brought the flashlight out that Jose and Tanya got me, or got us. And so I want them to know that I'm looking for them. There's something shiny down there. I don't know what that is. Some kind of something right there with the light. Hopefully she'll be out in a minute. This is just to let thunder know we're looking for him. Okay, so we're just waiting. They're making noise in the distance, but they're not getting close, even though the storm came right over us. They're still staying in the distance. We weren't out here earlier, and you could hear just, I wish she was out here right now. But I'm going to put the phone down. It's going to be a little loud. I'm going to take one shot, and then I'll be right back. Nah, I can't put the phone there. It's too wet. Hold on. That's just a deterrence to let them know it's better if they move on. And they will. So all the other towns expect heavy thunderstorm sounds, and it's going to be in the distance from here now. But you can use that technique. It works every time. Start off with your car alarms, some of the storms. Be sporadic about it. That's on page. Does anybody know the page? If you could put it on. And Predator Bigfoot book. I want to say Thunder and Lightning's on page 96, I believe. I don't have the book with me right now. So when you see storm warnings and things like that, we'll get those. But the thunder is what you got to worry about. Well, not worry about, but listen for. And lightning sounds. If it has some lightning, I mean some thunder, some heavy rains, and these predators travel with these dark rain clouds. They're not severe. They're not endangering. There are lots of water, which it can cause flooding, but these things are looking for an excuse to take your pet or to take somebody outside, somebody camping. And as you can hear and listen, they passed us up. They went around. They didn't come through. And they got quiet when we started shooting. Now, how many storms get quiet when you start shooting? Any kind of natural storm would still be making noise, but we're still getting the rain, still raining. But this is, I want to say page 96 in the book, Thunder and Lightning. And I think we covered this. If not, we've covered it here before. This is not the first time we've done this. And every time the storm gets quiet, because we know it's not a storm, we know it's not real thunder. Page 66. Thank you, Bob. Thunder and Lightning is on page 66 in the Predator Bigfoot book. And so when the thunder hit really hard a while ago, we got that on film. We were shooting and then it got quiet. And storms don't do that. They don't get quiet when people shoot. Bigfoots get quiet when it shoots, when people shoot. Predators get quiet when people shoot.
Elastic Machinery also said page 66. He just got his book and DVD.
Oh, you just got your book and DVD? Wow. Page 66. Thank you, Elastic Machinery, also. And thank you, Bob, also. So now Thunder has decided this is not the best place for them to be trying to rumble the ground. Now our neighbors, like we said, our neighbors, they're going to get some activity. And you can hear the dogs barking in their areas. You hear the dogs?
Yeah.
But those are Bigfoots over there, seeing if there's anything free for them to get, loose dogs or anything. Over here, we don't leave food out. We don't give them any opportunity. We are not a food source for them. We are an ammo source for them.
Yeah, and if there's more than one band coming through, you just repeat.
Yeah. And if there's more than one band coming through, repeat, do the same thing. And don't worry, they can see you on the porch. You don't have to go out off the porch. You can shoot off the porch.
And you can tell thunder from the ground as opposed to thunder in the air.
Yeah. The neighbors' dogs are going, they're getting bothered right now. The predators are still in the area. They're just not in our area. They're in the neighbor's area. Didn't mean to touch that. I don't know if y'all can hear those dogs in the distance, but they're going crazy, which they shouldn't be. They should be in their kennels or they're staying dry. But they're barking at both places over there and over there. Or at least over there. Maybe, yeah, two directions.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you want some coffee?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be with y'all just a little bit longer. We're getting a little bit of coffee just because these things will make their rounds or they'll wait for us to go inside and they'll start acting up again. So we like to let them, because they can see us on the porch. They see at night. All nocturnal animals see at night, and they're just not nocturnal. These things hunt during the day. Tracker Lorna, all right. So we're just letting them know that we are here waiting for them to slip up, make some thunder sounds, and we're going to shoot in that direction. Just on our area, our land. There's like 30 something acres out here of, actually more than that, of just trees and a river, no houses. So we ain't got to worry about that. Predator Bigfoots, but being so many that you may get lucky and hit a couple, and they know that, so they're going to be quiet and they're going to stay or get further back. But they will, if they don't see you, if they see you go inside, just like a crow. If you've got a crow leaving an area, keep your eye on it until, and that's bird language. I think that's in the book also. But they will try to circle back if you're not paying attention. Or if you go inside and think it's done, you're going to be surprised when you go inside and find out that the thunder started back up. And they are always close, so keep that in mind. What I do sometimes is put a GoPro. It's waterproof. I put that outside during thunderstorms if I can't be out in it, and just let that play. It's got about an hour memory on the battery. And when that flashes, you can see different shadows and figures when the predators are out there. And that's what I do. I just film for an hour straight with the thunder and the lightning, and then I go back and just where the lightning flashes and makes it all daylight looking, that's what I cut and put all together. And then you can see the shadows, and you can see where this shadow has moved over there. We're standing out there in a field looking at the house. And if I could be out in it and see them at the same time, I would definitely be shooting. And these predators know that this house shoots. So they like to go around this area. The neighbors' dogs, everything, they get bothered every night. So we're also just letting them know that there are some dark shadows. I just don't have my night vision. Trying to see. I'll get my flashlight though, because there is a dark shadow over there. Right here at the side of the shed here. Oh. So let them know you're looking for them. They will quieten down. They don't want you shooting at them. Lyrical Jazzy, Tracker J. All right, how y'all doing? We're just doing some deterring. Some thunder deterring. There's lead tracker E. All right. Oh, we got some coffee. I got cold toes, not cold feet. I must have had a break in the clouds over because it's got a little bit lighter out here. And even when that happens, look for shadows, look for bulges. And when that flash happens, look in the direction that if you see a little dark shadow, when that lightning flashes, try to focus on that area. Also let them see you looking for them. They tend to get very quiet when they know that you're looking for that thunder sound. I got my hands full. Thank you. Tracker, you brought me some shoes, water shoes.
Any shoes.
Any shoes. Take my wet
We have
socks
too
off.
many scorpions.
Ooh, that too. And also, if you're out camping and this happens, go ahead and shoot at the sound of that thunder. Let them know you're looking for them, because you know what it is. People who don't know, they'll be in the storm with all these Bigfoots surrounding them. And these things will get right up to their tent. Some will even wrap them up in their tent and drag them down a mountainside with their girlfriend in it.
And people say it's mischievous. That sounds like abduction and trauma and abuse. And I don't call that mischief. We need to get rid of those old satellite dishes.
Yeah. Oh, the lash. And of course, this is just to deter them. We're not hunting anything. We're not hunting. We're just deterring. Now here comes a jet plane.
We want to be flying in that.
Who would want to be flying in this? And even if those jets are cloud seeding, which if you don't know what that is, they seed the clouds or they put a chemical into the cloud to release more rain, more water. These Bigfoots are not going to be coming in on the people who are waiting for them with weapons. So they can make it rain if they want to make it rain, because these predators are not going to take a chance. No twinkle, but I think that's a spider or spider web down there. So they can make it rain, cloud seeding, look for hydrogen plants, or they shoot gusts of hydrogen into the air in the direction that they want it to go, or in the jet stream area where the natural wind is carrying it, to cause rainstorms in certain areas. When missing people are reported missing, these hydrogen plants shoot up hydrogen and cause rainstorms to cover tracks of these predators that took the people. Well, let them see you. Let them know that you're still up here looking for them. And when they know you're looking for them, they get quiet. And they know that these people who are looking for them have a weapon. And they know people in this house will shoot. But again, we're on private land and there's nobody who lives in these areas, in the area that we're at. And nobody should be out in, we're on our property anyway. I got some coffee I want to grab. But we're hanging out, letting these predators know that we're still here. And we're still looking for them. It's not over. And being a blue-faced warrior right now, because this light is shining on my face, but that's okay because we're on the porch, and when they see my face, they see that we're looking out here for them. And they don't want, they have the fear of, what's it called? When you're found out, the fears of the Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
The fears of the Bigfoot.
Uh-huh.
You remember what they are?
Oh, fear of discovery and exposure.
Fear of exposure. That's the word I was
Because
looking for.
exposure means starvation.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
death.
And they have the fear of exposure, the fear of starvation, and the fear of losing their prey. And their prey are those gifters and people who try to feed them or communicate with them. The people who they know that there's food in the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? Where'd it come from? That way, or?
I heard it on my left.
Okay. Sound like there's a tree knock, so we're gonna hold off. Actually, I'm gonna flashlight over that way. Because if we hear it again, there's gonna be a bullet ringing out. So be patient with us. We're being patient. We know that they're gonna have a tendency to try to make some more noise. If we go in, they're gonna be making noise. So we're gonna let them, because they can see in the dark, so they can see us up here. And we're not trying to hide. We're letting them know that we're looking. What's the time on this? 36:06, looks like. So around 35:45. I'm gonna play it back and see if I can hear a tree knock pop. And this is what people should be doing when they know storms are coming. Neighbors should know what directions to shoot at. Everybody should know where everybody's house is, what direction. Or we'll stay on as long as the power holds up. I'm not sure how much power we got left.
You want me to get an extension cord?
Do we have one of those little battery chargers we can hook it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should have.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta watch your time too, innit?
Well, I set the alarm.
Okay.
I didn't know they can chat tonight. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, everybody, you can chat tonight if you like. We are just waiting here. And I just seen a shadow. Shadows on the other side of the house. So let's take a look. There's a shadow right out here. I seen it move. That light is also on the front of the house, which is around the corner, so and that's strategic to go on the other side of the house where people would be. Oop, actually, I touched that. The CT is here.
Let me see.
Do that. Oh, okay. Plug it in for a little bit more power. How long is this cord?
Let's let him know about reaction Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And they
Do
can
you want
send in videos.
do you want to? Or?
Well, we have an idea. If you guys would like us to react to a video, that way we're not singling anyone out and picking on anyone or selecting anyone to have reactions to.
Because
But
we don't watch those other channels.
yeah, but if there's something that you think, because you know what we're about, you know what we teach, if you want to get our reactions on some videos out there, send them to us. And on Wednesdays, I don't know if it'll start this Wednesday already, but maybe
We
next.
could.
We don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll try. We'll shoot for this Wednesday, but we'll watch them and we'll give our reactions. And the plan so far is maybe put transcript on, so we're not listening to what they say. We're just watching the video. But at the same time, we want to be able to. We're kind of on the fence about it, whether we want to mute it, but then we can't hear the sounds around them. We can't hear the bird sounds and the mimics and the howls or anything like that. If we could just mute the people, if that were an option, that'd be good, but it's not. So we just need to decide which way will work better. We might try it both ways. If we mute the whole thing, we can hear if they say, "What was that?" or that kind of thing, and then we'll know to listen. But anyway, we thought it would be a good way to teach because we've watched so many videos in the past here and there that people have sent us, but we just don't have time anymore. But
And they irritate us.
yeah, we quit watching them quite a while back because they concern us.
They do everything wrong.
They concern us because the people are making a lot of mistakes, walking into dangerous territory, walking right past traps, and they're researchers and have channels and that are, I don't know, maybe they're not to teach, but anyway, we want to find a good way to teach people through that. And keep them safer too, because a lot of them just simply don't know what they don't know. And it's not about picking on anybody, it's about teaching through just another form that we thought you guys might enjoy. So if you want us to do that,
if you watch those other channels,
if you watch those other channels and you see something and you know it's something that we would
you know how we
say
are.
something about it,
You know how we are.
send us that video if there's a particular timestamps or anything like that, or whatever. Don't load us down with a ton of text, but just send them to us and we'll pick some and we'll do some reaction videos.
And there's a light rumble in the distance, so they're still trying to see what we're doing. We're drinking coffee, sitting out here with a flashlight and a weapon.
Lyrical Jasmine said that's an awesome idea. Oh, I gotta go do my thing. I'll be right back.
Okay. The tracker, he says she'll be back in a minute. Oh, I'm just patiently waiting. I can hear the distance, but not here though. It doesn't mean that they're not here. It just means that these over here again bothers and sorry, we're back now. They tracked me, decided to take the Wi-Fi indoors. But I wanted to show you something. Okay, now a deer is here. Can y'all see that deer? Can y'all see the eye shine? See that deer? Two of them. Can y'all see that? Right there. They're right out there. Now, these deer just came up. Now, how peculiar, as people say. So we got deer out here now, and we're the house that's shooting. So why would deer be out here? But we've also said that they will push deer towards you just to see if you're just hunting, see what you're doing. And no, we're not hunters. We do not hunt. But there are deer now in our yard. How many deer do you know go towards the gunfire? Either that or they're looking for safety because they know that we're shooting at the thunder sounds. But these predators will send deer to you to see if that's what you're looking for. There's something else over here. Hard to see out here, even for me. Sounds like the neighbor's dogs are going crazy. Deer in the yard here. Thunder in the distance. Actually, if the main tracker comes back in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna get the thermal. Well, here she is. I'm gonna go grab the thermal. Yeah.
Okay, it's on the desk in the office.
Okay. You got a pocket? Pocket folder.
Might be a frog in there. Okay.
There it is. All right.
Oh, good. Glad you found it.
Propane tank building. Corner of the building.
Another van coming through.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same direction the last one came from. Thank you, Lord, for protecting us from storms of every sort. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for protecting us from any thunder and lightning. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let me go see if I can do this sideways. I'm trying to hold these things and it's a bigger screen. Low power. Oops.
Yeah, that can just unplug so easy.
This is the,
Make sure it's on.
this is a different. It's okay. My thermal's out. Thermal's out.
I just plug it out. And then wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. Even though there's another group coming in. Hmm. I don't even know what the thermal plug-in is. So the best we can do is, without any equipment, is stand here in the dark. We got a flashlight. There's something dark in that tree. Let's see. Yeah. Well, okay. Wasn't or not? I'll start over because I wasn't even in the room. Um, our thermal wasn't um, charged up because we went on the track, but then we came in and then we had errands to run. Then we had to go do the stick ball. We had to be at the powwow, and then we went to church. And then today we had to take care of some other things. And Thunder and Lightning came in. Yeah, and we're loading another video that we're going to talk about in just a second for whoever's in here. Um, but we had to run a whole. We had to run and do a whole bunch of errands and so the reason everything went out is because um, matter of fact, I hold this stuff like this. So maybe if I can get this to hold up, then I don't have to hold it. Bear with me. Let me see if I can get this to stand up here. I don't know if it will or not, but I think it will if I don't touch it. So I'm not going to touch it. We had to run some errands this whole week. It's been busy. There's hardly ever a day that's not busy. But we got in a little while ago, and then the thunder, we could hear the thunder, we could hear the rumbling. That's unusual for this area. Didn't used to be, but now it is. And other people, they think that's normal, but it's not normal, especially when you hear it ground level. If thunder is up there, it's going to be up there. I just heard a rumble just then because we had to come inside because the thermal wasn't charged, the phone wasn't charged, the Wi-Fi wasn't charged, everything went out. That's why we had that break right there. And that even reminded me that we're still trying to download this video to get that out. So if you hear thunder in just a little bit, just like then when I was talking, but it's because we came inside. We're not out there shooting right now. Yeah, like Lead Tracker E said, sometimes that's a sign. Yes, that is correct. So we still got things to do in here. We did do the deterrence. If you were listening a little while ago while we was doing, right now we're uploading a video because we believe we walked through a portal the other night, and this video shows that there was like a house or a home or something that had lights, was up in on our land somewhere, but it kind of threw us that night, and we veered to the left and kept doing our track. But the more we thought about it, we said there's no house out there. There's never been a house out there. And so this video that we're trying to get uploaded today, um, will show you that in that video at night track, we will run up on two big lights and it looks like a big house, and you can hear us talking. And I'm saying, where did our fence go? Because we were on our land, and it's quite a bit. And we know every bit of that. We even know past it, and we have permission to be past that and over there. We have permission. We know everybody in this area. And we can go maybe, I don't know, 5 miles, you know, if, yeah, about 5 miles, maybe 6 miles out that way if we need to. And There's a big river there. There's no house out there. But in that video, in the video that we're loading up, in the beginning part, you see us tracking. Then you're going to hear me say, where's our fence? We didn't cross our fence. And we certainly, because also if we did cross a fence, we would still have to cross a fence to get back. And we didn't cross a fence to get back either. So we either went through something or somebody put a house out there overnight. But in the second part of that video, because we showed that first part, in the second part of the video, we go back out in daylight and do some tracking. We find some interesting things that you'll see on that video. But we got out far, almost to the very edge of the property, as far as we could go. And then we cut back, but we follow the fence. This time we're going to follow the fence and stay close to it all the way back so we can find that house that was out there at nighttime. Now, if that wasn't a house, then there was a big vehicle, like a van, big van, or one of those mobile driving van things with lights up and everything. But it just doesn't make sense because we know basically every inch of the land, and we couldn't. That I can hear myself on it.
I just turned it in.
I was just wondering if I would get reverb over sound. But so we know basically every inch of the land, can walk it blindfolded, and there's no house next to our fence. But in that video, you're going to see lights and everything out there. And so the more we thought about it, we said, well, there's no house out there. There shouldn't be anything out there. So we went out and we tracked further out, almost to the edge of the property, and cut back. And you'll hear us talk or whisper, and we say, now let's go and follow the fence all the way back and find that house. Find where those lights were. And you'll see us do that track. Then you're going to hear what we're talking about. But we're trying to get that uploaded. Hopefully. And we would go and do a thing for days. So if I'm yawning, I'm still a little tired. We still got things we got to do. Well, we got the tracker meeting tomorrow. We got things we got to do tomorrow. But you're going to find that video that we're about to post, I would say about an hour from now or something. Depends on how long it takes to get loaded. But you're going to see that. And you're going to hear us say it don't make sense. It don't make sense. But what we're going to do is we're going to get that video and we're going to retrack our steps using that video. I'm not sure when we're going to be able to get out there and track. It's going to be nice and cool tomorrow, but we got a trackers meeting tomorrow. But it's very time to track after the rain. Yeah, you're right. If you were with us a while ago, you seen that we deer came up to the house just a few. I mean, if we were hunters, we could have had some deer if we wanted to, but we're not hunters and we don't hunt. We only track. But that's another oddity that happened. And then again, the rains are pouring, but with what we was doing, the thunder is not there. But we got lots of rain, which is good for the land.
We sure needed it.
And we sure needed it. But And I can still see lightning flashing through the windows, but the thunder's not there. But we expect it to come back because we had to come inside because, like we said, the thermal was not charged, the phone was not charged, the Wi-Fi was not charged. Everything went down at once. So we had to come in. And as lead tracker, he said that was always, sometimes that's a sign. So we came back in. So when this video gets loaded up, you're going to get to see what we're looking for. Oh, but you're also going to see some things we found out there on the track. I just got this up here, just kind of balance so I can scoot over a little bit. So might want to come this way a little bit. There we go. That way you fit. I mean, I could try to turn it, but I hate for it to fall. Oh, so also, lead tracker he brought up a while ago. I don't know if he was here a while ago or who was all in the room, but talked about doing a reaction Wednesday. But we want you to send us a video of a channel that you watch, who you know doesn't do things like we do, so we can point out some things, that the mistakes that they're making. We're not going to be picking on anybody, and we're not going to be looking for any channels to do this with. So we want you to send us a video clip of another channel, or we don't want a Bigfoot movie or something like that, because
they all make us mad.
That's scripted. Those are actors. We're talking about researchers or people who go out and do things. We don't watch those other channels because they do everything wrong, unless they've been watching this channel. We've seen a couple channels that are doing things right and are picking things up and getting a lot better out there, and that's for their safety. I mean, their protection.
Or even like clips that are on NVTV, or some of those, some of the things that just people are, they may just be a couple minutes and
they're
freaking out. See if we can notice anything to help. Just a way to teach.
But when you do that, send it to where it's decently able to view. You know, some people are running with stuff like this. It's hard to get, see what else is out there, or what they're listening to, or what's going on.
Or maybe help us out with a timestamp or something if there's an area that we would be zeroing in on, like the bows and the blinds or corrals. Or if you don't know those things, just send it. But
there are some channels that we're not going to do reactions to.
We don't want to listen to a bunch of talk.
Yeah.
We just want to see the woods.
After people who's been problems for these channels and other channels, we're not going to do a reaction video with them or about them. Because if they're not good people, they're not good people, and if we know they're not good people, we don't want to.
And there's only been a couple of those.
Yeah. Anyway, be associated with them. So.
Yeah, but those are not very many.
But there are a lot of channels that, if you see that you may want to do us or have us do a reaction video to that, we're going to do those on Wednesdays. As lead tracker he said, maybe from the NVTV or NVTV, clips like that, or people who are researching, people who are actually out there doing some things. But if you've been with this channel long enough that you know that we know that, and if you know that they're doing things wrong, then you know that we're going to spot it too. And so it's not just you
Or if they're just puzzled and confused and don't know what's going on, we may be able to give some insight.
Yeah. Cubinator's here, all right.
Or you can just watch how we react when we don't get to watch very many, but
And
we tried to watch a movie last night that was a Bigfoot movie. We both said a
cannot
couple times,
remember.
who recommended this to us?
Somebody said,
did recently.
What Shadows of
In the Shadow
Bigfoot?
of Bigfoot.
Someone asked us if we watched it, if we watched it, take a look at it. We did. And from the get-go, we was mad. We was upset.
Scene one.
Scene one. We said, what are they doing?
But it was just a movie. We don't want to watch.
Yeah, we don't want to do reactions on movies.
Yeah.
Those are actors being stupid. Just, it's written stupid. But we see people doing some of those things that was in the
Absolutely.
movie that, and the reaction video was for people's safety.
Yeah.
Because other people are going to watch those channels and go, you know, kind of think that it's okay to do what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
But and we don't want people doing what they're doing out there. That can get people hurt or killed. Did y'all hear that?
Should we see if that?
Did y'all hear that? Can y'all still hear that?
It's back. I saw it flash up there.
And we said, yeah, we did. Be careful, don't bump this up. We said that was going to happen because we came in and we said Thunder can see that we came inside, and if you come in too early, that once they know that you're inside, they're going to move in. Our neighbors or their dogs are going to be barking out there in just a minute. And we probably won't be able to hear them from here. Did you ever beep it?
No. Okay. I thought you might want to do it.
Now I'm going to be beeping. See, y'all might be able to hear this too. I just beat that 10 times.
We don't do it in any particular pattern. We don't want to do it in a particular pattern.
And this is on page 66. Thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning are the names of the predator Bigfoot hunting groups that are only allowed to kill and hunt during thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, and times of flooding. This troop must be restrained at all other times. Prey and other foods are brought to these troops to keep them satisfied until their time to kill. They are released only when the clouds form and the rains begin. These predator hunting groups make the loud sounds of thunder and lightning strikes. They cause the land to tremble by stomping their feet. When the storm increases, these predator troops will come to homes and shake the foundation and make people break their thresholds and run to shelters. They grab the roofs of homes and shake profusely and tear down rain gutters. They are vicious, large predators that can make a house feel to a person as if their home is about to fall or collapse. All predator Bigfoots and hybrids are under spiritual laws, just as humans are. Each home is a secure threshold, not penetrable by predator Bigfoots and evil spirits unless invited in, or if the physical and or spiritual threshold is left open. This is their tactic to get lukewarm people to give up their faith in God.
So when you beep, you don't want to do it during the noise. You want to wait until it's finished and then.
Did y'all hear that thunder? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead somewhere. And don't do it in every certain pattern. Last time we did it 10. This time we did it 5. And that's with the horn from the inside of your house where you're nice and safe.
So if you don't have one of those beepers, you just find another way to make a noise to let them recognize that you see what's going on.
The thunder and lightning sounds. This is their tactic to get lukewarm people to give up their faith in God. Bigfoots and disembodied spirits have no rights to God's people and have to trick them into giving up their faith and hope. Once the person or family leaves their secure threshold and runs from the shelter, their lack of faith in Jesus, Yeshua, is displayed to the predators, giving the predators legal rights to the lukewarm or non-believers and their homes. This is also, remember, page 66 in the Predator Bigfoot book, and we're doing all this right in front of you. To deter these Predator Bigfoot troops, an alarm is to be made for storms. One can use a car alarm button. And you hear that thunder. We did it 10 times. Now we did it 5 times. Now I'm going to do it 7 times. It's no pattern. No pattern whatsoever. You don't want them to think it's like a doorbell. Bing, 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 like it's just going to happen. Give it sporadic. 10, 3, 8, 6, 4, 10, 3, 10, 4, 10. One can use a car alarm button, a bell with a string, or anything that signifies attention to the sound of thunder and lightning to inform the Predator Bigfoot troop in the area that the homeowner is aware that the sounds and trembles are caused by the predators. When a person hears the thunder and lightning sounds coming from the ground, not the sky, wait for the thunder and lightning sounds to quiet down, and then make the alarm sound. Do not use a pattern when ringing the alarm. Sound the alarm in a sporadic pattern of numbers. This will deter the predators, but the predator troop will return with the next storm to test and attempt to gain access. Use this technique the first 3 storms, but on the 4th storm, if possible, shoot a shotgun or handgun with every false or suspected false thunder and lightning sound. The predators will move away from the home or people from the fear of exposure and will soon go around your home. Predator Bigfoots and hybrids have the fear of exposure, the fear of starvation, and the fear of losing their prey, just as a spider does. We encourage readers to read the book of Enoch for additional information on these troops. Pray for discernment. It's all right there. There's more information right here. We don't know what else we can do besides go over it with you a million times. Whenever all you got to do is get the book. All you got to do is get the DVD and look over that, see what's there, what's going on. The DVD helps you. The book is going to help you. It's going to save your family's life. It's just something seeing people making the same mistakes and not doing or not even using the techniques or not even getting the book.
We
It's
have
just
had some use and with great
and,
success that tell us
some
that
people
this
do,
works for them. Yeah.
and it works for them. It works for us. It just works.
To their surprise.
Yeah, even to their surprise.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe sometimes, but if you use it, it's tried and tested. We know these things. We know what they do. We know how they work or how they maneuver to get to food. And we wrote it all down in this book, but we're also working on the second book that's more advanced. This is the most advanced Bigfoot predator book out there to date. Researchers of up to 50 years plus have told us this book has answered their questions. That 50 plus years of researchers. There's researchers who are 10 years, 20 years, who don't have a clue what's going on. They're getting all their information from the past people or what YouTube shows them. This is not YouTube information. This is tribal information. This is ancient information, all given to people to help them. Oh my goodness, it's just, and we just showed you, we just did exactly what we wrote down in the book. We used the shotgun because we've done this before. We had to come inside because our power was down. We told you thunder was going to come around because they seen us come in. They hit hard again. So we started using our button and it quietened down. They went around. There's some people who don't even believe Bigfoots are even real. Those people are in more danger than anybody else. They're going to be doing foolish things just to prove that there's no Bigfoots. And that foolishness is going to get them, like a lot of people, to become knowers very fast. And then also in the book, we tell you what to do. Some of them were lucky enough to know what to do at that time.
I want to read Matthew 8, 20, starting at 24. Suddenly, a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we're going to drown." He replied, "You of little faith, why are you so afraid?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him."
And that's the same thing also with these predator Bigfoots. Deter them. They will go around you. They will cease activity in your area. But they will go to your neighbors. They will go to the next town. They will tear up the next town because the next town doesn't know. Only the people on this channel, only the trackers, only the people who have the book and the DVDs know this stuff. Those other channels, they don't know this stuff. And some of them have the book. Some of them have the DVDs, and yet they still can't learn. They still refuse,
Or just don't try.
or they can't read. I don't know. It's in that they can't understand the visuals. We tell them where not to go, and we see them going there. We put in the book what to do if this does happen, or what this is if you see it, and they still don't know what they're doing. Any of those groups that don't even think Bigfoots are real, don't listen to them. Don't even watch your channel. Don't
Well, I'll tell you this. When they tell you that they're only flesh and blood, you don't have all the information. When they tell you that they're only spirit, they don't know what they're talking about. They are flesh and blood and spirit, just like we are flesh and blood and spirit.
Spirit, yeah.
They're descendants from the fallen angels. Of course, they're spiritual too. And we don't mean spiritual in the good way.
No.
You know, not
We
once
mean
they
fallen
fell.
angel
Yeah,
way.
but they
Demonic way.
they can do things that are beyond what just a general predator can do. This is why they respond to rebuking in the name of Jesus, respond to prayers, respond to faith. This
Just
is
like
why
demons.
they can recognize if you have faith.
Yep.
They can recognize if your spiritual stronghold, if your spiritual threshold is strong. If they're telling you, this one goes all over me. There are some that will say they're only spiritual, they're only an illusion, there's no evidence. That person doesn't, those people don't know what they're talking about. Okay, yeah, you've seen spiritual ones that can appear and disappear. That's great. But you've not seen what other people have seen. You've not seen what we've seen, the ones that are also physical or that are both. They leave tracks. They bend trees. They build traps. We want to do a short, we found something back on the property that I want to make a little bit of a big deal out of it because it's absolutely so cunning and predatory. They have moved fencing from somewhere else. Shouldn't even be there. They pulled it over to this area that's by a ravine and wet weather creek, and they've shaped it into basically little igloos. Looks like 3 or 4 little igloos. There's one larger ones and then some smaller ones. And they know, they're so cunning that they know that that's going to cover over with the, the vines and the debris and the leaf litter and things like that. They'll be filling it in with the sticks like they do like they do with the pull downs. That is a level of cunning that there is no other predator that has that. There's stolen human
Spider.
DNA. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's opportunistic predators. We were talking about this today. And then there's predators that create the opportunity. That's a whole different level. That just steps it up. And that's not a common garden variety animal that we all know about. The different predators, bears, cougars, mountain lions, panthers, any of those kind of predators. It's none of those. These have the dexterity of man. They have the cunning of man and of demons. They have the pure raw animal power of animals and demons. They're a constantly evolving creature that is like no other. They're not even like themselves because they continuously mutate. The only other thing that we could think of that creates traps like this are the spiders, which they're descendants of, which is in their DNA. That's the binding DNA. So if I don't know who all's in here, or who all will watch this later, but look for our videos on this spider DNA, and they're not to be underestimated. So the people that are telling you, like somebody today said, if you go looking for them, you give them permission to look for you, or they take that as permission, basically like you're giving them a reason to attack you.
Also, basically like saying, if you leave them alone, they're going to leave you alone.
But
they're
coming onto your land. Yeah, they'll just continue to build on your land. They'll
they're
continue to advance.
Closer and closer.
They're building
the less you're not deterring them. They're coming closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, they're building a trap. We can see how they do it. Just like a spider, how the
spider web.
Yeah.
All the way around your
closer
home.
and closer and closer. We've
got one here, one there, one there, one there, one there.
We've got shared a video the other day of one. It's actual nest that looks like a funnel web spider, except it's huge and big enough for human prey, you know. So we do get frustrated sometimes because people just don't take it serious, or they blow it off, or act like we're crazy. But we're the ones trying to help people and teach them, and then this is probably our regular people that are on here, and we appreciate y'all, and we love y'all. Your support is wonderful.
And how many predators, from the hog to the snake to the vulture, how many of them set traps for all the animals? And how many of those set traps for human? None of them. Only the predator Bigfoot and the predator Bigfoot hybrids.
Yeah.
They are just predators, and they hunt everything, including people.
And the ones that tell you that the dogmen are more vicious than the Bigfoot, or, well, gotta be careful of the dogmen, they're the most vicious. No, they're all vicious. They're all capable of killing. That's just happened to have more canine type features, but it's still coming from the same original predator.
Now, Bigfoots are even more dangerous because they're more calculated and more patient.
But whether you're dead from 100 little piranhas or one big shark, doesn't matter, you're still dead.
Yeah, you just got eaten alive.
So we have to be careful of all of them.
Predators that eat flesh and hunt constantly, 24/7.
We know someone whose brother was killed by one of these, and he was attacked. He did survive, but barely. If you took one swipe across his back, it covered the entirety of his back, and almost did kill him too. He barely survived. And his mindset is that, and I'm sure he's probably
spared him.
They spared him. He did something wrong by going out there. You know, some survivor's guilt. Why him, not his brother?
But
the truth is, these are just absolute predators.
He called them Jesus. That's how he got out of there.
And his brother may not have.
Yeah.
We don't know. But one we didn't even save that picture in our phones because because it was a very personal photo to him. We didn't want there to be any kind of mistake of accidentally somebody seeing it.
And then he was even kind of mocking us, saying, well, I don't really believe people who've seen more than one or see that there's multiple. And is that, like to me, that's kind of like, malarkey. And I'm going, you just got ripped apart.
Your brother's dead.
Your brother's dead, and you don't know what's going on.
And still, like, giving them, making excuses for them. They weren't doing anything wrong. They're just getting from here to there. They weren't going up on them. They weren't trying to pick a fight with them. They weren't gifting. They weren't doing anything.
The brother became food.
Yeah.
And that blood was drank. They're not going to waste blood. And he probably don't even know that.
Yeah.
And he probably don't even know that they were licking on him too. Like
he wouldn't even accept that. Yeah. He wouldn't even accept the reality that they meant to do that, and it wasn't his fault. He didn't know. It wasn't his brother's fault. Another young man we know that didn't take it serious, that before the nightmare was over, he's suicidal and in and out of mental health facilities and in and out of jail, and he didn't take the warnings seriously, and he ended up raped, poked with sticks, glasses knocked off, shoes knocked off, naked, horrified, mind scrambled, dehydrated, legs all scratched up, a very odd shade of green and gray. Horrifying situation, PTSD that he's so far been unable to recover from. He didn't take it seriously. So if it's seen sometimes like we're
strict,
harsh, it comes from a place of nobody deserves any of that to happen.
We're the only channel that's going to be that way. Everybody else wants subscribers. Everybody else wants this. They want that. They don't want to tell you the truth because you will
stick to their guns.
You will go and find a channel that will tell you what you want to hear.
Or
they won't tell you the truth.
They'll give half the information and dismiss all the other stuff out there. We're not sitting here lying. We're not showing fake prints and fake bows and fake pull downs and fake blinds.
Around homes, around schools.
Yeah, you can tell that's the people that say they're just spirit. That's all they're doing is walking in. They're not walking in areas we're walking in. They're not. They don't know how much they don't know, and that lack of knowledge is getting people hurt because they're underestimating these things.
And we went to one place and people were saying, well, you stirred them up. What are you going to do whenever y'all leave? What's going to happen? We're going, you called us.
Because they were stirred up and bothering you.
Yeah, they're climbing on your house. They're not on ours.
Went to somebody else's place and they
well,
we helped pushing back blinds, doing what we do, cutting things with clippers, and finally got a little chainsaw going, but still a lot of hand clipper work and all that kind of, and don't mind doing it. But do mind that later they were like, well, that's cute. The little bushes look so cute, and only half followed the instructions after we put all that work and effort into teaching them. But it wasn't the answers that they wanted to hear. They didn't want to do it in the way that we were trying to do. It's a program. It's a program. It's a method laid out in the book that you can't just pick and choose what you out of it, or it's not going to work. It's not going to be effective. So we do get frustrated if somebody asks for our help and then we're in the middle of helping them, and then they start saying that's not enough. It's not quick enough. Let me ask them and them and them and them, and then you got a bunch of
them and them and them don't know.
Yeah, and so
they don't know,
and they're coming in saying the opposite of what we're saying. They're saying, do build a fire and sit out there and watch them and
give them food,
interact with them and appease them. And so, yeah, we hard pass on that person after that. Just
they don't want the help. They don't want to do the work.
And it's not an immediate process. You can't just be done with them in one day. We continually have to. Now we've got those wire blinds out there that we
just had to do thunder and lightning deterrents. These things are everywhere. And if you don't do your work, your constant upkeep,
maintenance is just like any other thing, just like spiritual maintenance. You don't pray for your house to be protected one day and then you never ever have to do it again. You got to spiritually cleanse it here and there. You don't like nag God every day, but you have to keep doing the upkeep.
Yeah, and we do. And we go help other people, but we still have to do ours too.
Yeah. And there's times we'll even get distracted, but then we'll notice, oh, wow, here they come again. Yeah. So we got to get back out there again and do it. Just like we're telling everybody else. We don't tell anybody else to do what we're not doing ourselves.
Yeah. And if everybody was doing it, they would be deterred.
Man, it would be so much easier to keep them pushed back into the deep woods.
Yeah.
You just want to make it, just like any other predator, you want to make it so bothersome for them to get through your area that they don't even come around anymore. I'll leave them alone, man. They're too much trouble, kind of thing. They keep now some blinds and pull downs, because we are who we are and we're doing what we're doing. We leave up for training purposes. But everybody else, we're like, knock them woods back, knock them, push that back, get that down. And we've seen people that don't listen, and it's 2 years later, and now they're really close and peeking in the windows and things like that. Well, you could have nipped that in the bud 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you listened. So it is serious, and it's getting worse. They're multiplying.
Every year they're multiplying.
You didn't used to hear about them at the dumpsters up in towns, on roofs in towns. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, listen to There's Some Things Wrong in Wright City in our live streams. That should be sobering. You know, we were driving to his house in the middle of a town, just a normal small city, driving to the house, and we're just about there. And we said, oh, that's a problem spot right there. And it was exactly, we knew everything we were going to find, because it's the same pattern over and over. It's not hard. It's just the same thing over and over. What's hard is getting people to pay attention, to take it seriously.
They're just not educated to it. They didn't have anyone teaching them whenever they're growing up that there's monsters out there.
No. I was always in the woods, just like everybody else. I've been in those woods my whole life.
I ain't never seen no Bigfoot.
I'm telling you, if I could get the chores done and get permission to leave, I was gone, and I was gone all day, every day. I'm a very solitary kind of person. In school,
I used to sleep in these woods. I used to run through these woods.
They didn't look like this.
Mm.
And then for the ones that haven't heard it or will listen later, there was a logging path, and this is a house when I was grown in the big thicket area of East Texas, and there was one little, you know how they'll break up the plots of land, so there'd be basically little trails through that you can drive an ATV down to show different sections. And it started getting crossed over with the pine trees that were about this big around, about that big around, probably about 12 feet in length, average, maybe a little bit longer, broken off top and bottom, and they're laying across the trail. They're several feet apart. And I'm like, what the heck? What is this? Because I've been there. I've been up and down that trail so many times. Now, I didn't have an ATV. Everything I did was just walking with my dog and looking and exploring. And at first I was like, what could cause this? I'm going through every possibility in my head. I knew Bigfoot existed, but I hadn't applied it to any kind of situation I had going on. Hadn't really even thought much about it since probably the Harry and the Hendersons movie many years ago, decades ago. And then I'm like, was it a wind tunnel? Is this some kind of weather thing going on? But how would it snap it off both? How are they so uniform? How is it such a pattern? How to go straight down that? Is it, what's going on? And I would move them and they would get replaced. And well, what I know now is that that's just one of the ways they start trying to block the path, trying to impede things from coming down there, or to trip things up that they're running through those trails. So they would replace them, and then I kept getting rid of them. And then I'm like, is it a human? Okay, now I've exhausted the weather possibilities, and because I'm going, there's not even, where's the root? Where'd it come from? Where's the top? Where's the root? And then after that was a little further down the path was the foliage crossed over, pull down foliage from both sides of the path. And so now there's a foliage wall. The path just ended. There's a wall there. And so I'm like, that's peculiar. You know, that's weird what's going on there. But I'm still thinking, well, that's just overgrowth. But golly, that happened fast. You know, how does that happen in just a day or two? Because I was out there almost every day. And then, so I get my clippers and I cut it all back and open the path back up again. And then I don't remember how, not too much longer after that, I come back and there's a tree that was, if I remember correctly, 23 inches long, 23 inches around, pushed over. And I'm telling you, it was so strategic and so well thought out. There's a little distance into the woods so that it pushed over so that the exact top of it came across that trail where I had cut through the vine wall that had been made. And now an entire treetop is laying there. Like they had to look around and see now which tree is going to cover that path exactly, and they pushed it over. There had been no storm. It wasn't a dead tree. It's still bright green. So now I'm like, wow, okay, this, by then I'm beginning to realize these are not squatters. Haven't found any evidence of humans there on the land, not somebody sneaking in and trying to grow anything, and nothing like that. There was just nothing. I would find bones here and there. So I knew that, you know, there's predators out there. So, but now there's a spot for them to have a blind. One of two things. They've got the ambush blinds down at the root end or at the foliage end, which they were turning into an ambush blind, and it would cause me to have to go around deeper into the woods just to get a, and it was blocking off the path. You know, they've got several reasons for doing these things. So I go around it and I continue on down the path because by now I'm getting pretty irritated. I'm like, well, should I pay taxes on this land? It's my land. You're not going to stop me from walking in my own land. And further down on the left, I see a giant X. And then I'm cutting through some other trails, and then one day, and it's all in the same area, I'm coming back a way I had already gone, but I could only see it from that one angle, and there's the first really clear structure that I'd ever found. And let me see if I can find a picture of that, because it was obviously a structure, and it was big enough for me to get in. Hold on a second.
You know, Lorna or Tracker Lorna and 1-7 brought up an interesting thing as far as how people are in denial. They have Bigfoots, and they'll say they don't have Bigfoots, or they'll say the activity has lessened.
This is the first structure, and I could only see it coming back from a certain way. On the back side of that structure, which would run parallel to that path after I'd crossed around the tree and passed the X and gone down, the X was going sideways. That and now we would call that tree line skirting, or, you know, in the old video, but I don't put it up because I'm still trying to process all in my mind. We would call that a corral or tree line skirting. You know, we have our own terms that we use in the book, but I'm going, it's like they've weaved a fence to hide this. So on the back side of it, so this is the intelligence. There's a fence on the back side to hide that structure. And you can only see it coming from one little direction, just like they do most of their ambush blinds. And once I saw that, then I started really exploring that area of the woods, and there was so many structures like this. This one was probably the one that had been there the longest because it was the most well developed. And I was like, what the heck? Am I in a workshop for building structures? And this is where we found that huge knuckle print. the variety of structures there in East Texas was amazing. So in that little section of the woods was all these the kind like I just showed you, and so easy to hide in all the leaf litter and dead pine needles, and that's the color most of them are there. There's black ones too, but for the most part, they're the ones that I saw were cinnamon color, dead pine needle color. So they're just all over the place. But one of the things that a lot of them had was a second chamber. They had a bigger one and then a smaller, lower one, but still attached. They had, some of them had a central support pole. But I'm still thinking, wow, this is amazing. This is cool, because all I've ever learned was Bigfoot is your forest friend. And so I did always have weapons on me, but that was because of wild hogs and snakes, and just in case I ran into a crazy person out there. But I wasn't carrying just for the Bigfoot, because I thought they're just forest people, because that's what I had been programmed to believe. And so I got a hold of a
You're
group.
watching those other channels.
I was watching the channels on TV, anything I could find at that point. Once I realized what I was looking at, because I was like, this is no animal. This is something with some intelligence and some design and some, intention in what they're doing. So especially with them blocking the trail and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not thinking about all the pets that had gone missing over the years, and the odd noises and just different odd things. And later on, and I still will remember things from time to time, or my children will tell me something. I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right. That, or I wish you would have told me that then, or filling in the gaps. So I get a hold of this one group, and they come out and they verify, well, yeah, that's definitely nice people. That's definitely a structure, and help me find just showed me some things, helped me find the print or two. Not, most of it was me showing them what I had already found, because I was out there so much. Basically, I just wanted somebody else to see what I was seeing. And there was also about the time that I got blocked from being able to live stream on Facebook, because I was starting to show photos of these structures, or I would take a video and I'd post the video, but I didn't even know that I could do a live stream. I guess I didn't pay attention, but I get a notification saying you are unable to live stream. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't even try to live stream. Why not? And that's weird, and I believe that it was because they saw that I was really finding a lot of evidence there. So then I had permission to go. That was 10 acres. I had the neighbor on the left. Nobody was there. I had permission to go on their land. On the right, I also had permission to go on that one. So I had over 30 acres that I could explore as much as I wanted to. And it was a hot spot. That's where I found a giant wagon wheel structure, very elaborate, bow over it, crisscross, look, almost like a spider web, really looking back on it. It even had a top door jamb across the structure. And I remember thinking at the time, this almost has like the big one, the alpha, the leader stays in this one. And all around it were other little structures, but these were built slightly different kind of way. But the group I went on a camping trip with them, and it's the only one I ever went on with, other than, once I left there, but they were all for the preservation of these things.
They didn't even know what they were.
No.
What they are. They still
no,
don't know.
They didn't. And they just think that they're forest people. They think they're monkey men, you know, some hybrid off branch, which through stolen DNA they are, but they're not just the lost race of people or the forgotten race of people. And it just, they guided me wrong in that knowledge. And they taught me how to lay out glyphs, which is little sticks, and you lay them out in whatever patterns you want. Symbols, basically trying to establish, they're encouraging me to establish communication with these things, encouraging me to give them gifts and food. And that was the last thing I needed to be doing. I fortunately only did that just a couple of times, and they took it for sure. They were steering me wrong. So on the one trip that I went with them camping, they left all the men and myself and one other woman, because we wanted to explore and this is when I thought night tracking was a good idea, you know, because that's what I guess that's what you were supposed to do. That's what I was being taught to do. And so we went on a track with them, and this was in a very, oh good Lord, this is in the area that right now has over 40 missing people of it, near Stubblefield Lake, in East Texas. And so we went to track, but immediately I remember on the radio, because they had walkie-talkie to the rest of the women stayed at the camp. They didn't want anything to do with it. They're just there to visit with each other while their men went and did this. The other girl and myself were the only ones. They were too scared to go on the trail, but it didn't do them any good, because as soon as the men left, they started getting harassed at the camp. And that tells you right there another level of cunning. They were watching. They knew when the men left, so they knew that's when they could be doing that kind of thing. These men should not be leaving women at the camp by themselves. To begin with, you don't even go out there at night if you can help it. We do with one couple because it's what we do for a living. It's not for entertainment. It's what we do to teach other people. And when they're here, they're going to track at night one way or the other. That's what they do. They've got a channel for it. We taught them everything that, each time we go, we teach them, and they're good learners, and they're much more aware now than they used to be of what's going on. They used to not even have weapons or anything. But anyway, we ourselves, you don't see us just go tracking at night by ourselves. We just don't do that. We'll go to protect someone else. But we would never leave the women sitting there around a campfire, backs to the darkness, backs to the woods, blinded by the fire. It's just something that we don't recommend. We teach people not to do that. So anyway, that was a lesson that I learned there. I thought, because I could hear them calling, they were getting scared. They're bothering us here. We had sightings out there, and that's an area that's extremely known for very aggressive Bigfoots. There's already been attacks. There's already so many people missing. Now they're so cunning that they're even stretching vines across the ATV trails, and some people have been decapitated by these things. We also know that they can just twist your head right off you. It's also an area where, I think it was in this area that a coyote was reached inside its mouth, grabbed it and turned it inside out, tied it in a knot, and laid it on the trail. I saw the photo of that. I couldn't even make sense of what I was looking at until they explained it to me. And they had walked in a trail one way, and when they came back through, it was laying across the trail in front of them. That is a savagery and a sadistic nature. That's not a normal predator. It's just simply not. That's evil. So anyway, unfortunately, the leader of that group, and I won't say their name, but I always really liked them. I thought they were a great person. But I looked one day and we're unfriended, and I said, I sent a message, because sometimes you'll accidentally get unfriended, or sometimes people will think I unfriended them and I didn't. You know, glitches, I guess. So I contacted him and I said, hey, I noticed we're unfriended. Was that on purpose, or whatever, it's okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't a mistake. And they said, no disrespect to you at all, but I don't want anything to do with Jerry Williams. I don't remember the rest of it, but that was the gist of it. Because they just didn't believe in anything that he's teaching. And hands down, this man has taught me more than every Bigfoot channel combined, every Bigfoot group combined, every researcher, every anybody that is at these conventions. I used to go to any of them that I could go to. He's filled in blanks and made when you hear the truth, you're like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. And when you hear the truth, it registers. At least for me, it does. And I was like, that makes sense, because I had learned by then. I knew that what I was looking at was a hunting system, because I've gone over on the Lone Star Trail it was trailhead number 13, and there were so many bows, but it was the first time I'd seen them lined up like a chute, like a tunnel, and I'm like, they're herding prey into this. They're herding deer into this. This is, what the heck? And that feeling was so eerie, so awful there. And I tracked by myself all the time. I didn't have a dog then, at that time when I was tracking that one. And I do not scare easy. I just don't. I just don't. But the heebie-jeebies on that track, I couldn't wait to I saw that and I realized that, and then there was the silence, and then that heavy feeling that if you've been out there, you know that you can feel the weight of it. You can feel the eyes on you. And I remember and I think because of the nervousness too, I just had to go to the restroom so bad, and I was afraid I wouldn't make it back to the car. And I remember I just couldn't find a spot that felt comfortable to go, and I just had to get it over with. But that was so miserable. I can still feel the anxiety from that moment, and just knowing I could feel them all around me. I know that they were watching me. I have so many good photos that we're not seeing other people with them, but never go to Trailhead 13 on the Lone Star Trail. Don't go unarmed and don't go alone. But I did make it back out of there, but I seriously, you have those moments where it could have been a checking out point. I think that was one of them. If I had not left when I left, I truly believe I would have been prey that day. Anyway, the answers that they were telling me were not matching up with what I was seeing. So I'm still looking. I'm looking online. I'm researching, because I'm going, no, these things are hunting. No, they're not. Yes, they do eat plants and things, but that's not what their chosen diet is. They're meat eaters. They're huge. They got to consume some protein, not to mention there's all the hair in their scat. There's been teeth in their scat. There's been absolutely meat eaters, absolutely carnivores, which you got people out there saying, no, they're just herbivores or omnivores, or no, they're not. They'll eat that too. They'll eat anything. They'll eat each other if there's a blood trail. So I kind of disconnected from them. Then, I didn't go on any more campouts, put it that way, because it wasn't setting right with me. And so then I'm focusing back on the property there, and I'm still just steadily, always clearing land, with the clippers and things like that. And but it began to feel more and more sinister, and the bows are getting closer and closer to the house. And then one section of the woods I got completely turned around in, and it was a very small section of the woods, new like the back of my hand. Better than the back of my hand. I never studied the back of my hand, but I had studied that section of woods, and it was over on the neighbor's property. And I'm walking in facing this way, and I have not consciously turned around, but somehow, and I've not lost consciousness, nothing, but somehow now I'm turned around and I'm walking exactly the opposite way. That happened to me twice in that section of property, and that's where there was a lot of the infrasound. I had big huge tree branch thrown at me as I left. It crashed down right behind me. Just more and more sinister feel to it. I was getting real uneasy with how close everything was getting to the house, but in between that time I had tried to interact with some of the glyphs. There's even a video I don't want to show with that. They would change things. The sticks, you lay them out in a pattern, and then you go back and look and you see if they've changed the pattern, to try to communicate. So I'm making all those kind of mistakes because I've been trained to do that. But at some point anyway, I'd see a video or a live stream with Jerry on it, and he said Tallahassee, Oklahoma, and I recognize that because some of my family lives there, and it said Bigfoot, Tallahassee, something caught my eye. I rolled up on the thing and I listened, and at first I'm thinking Bigfoot expert, because it had been programmed into me. There's no such thing as a Bigfoot expert. But I'm smart, I'm intelligent enough to know, and I knew this when I was a child, I don't have to have a personal relationship or well, you don't have to like or agree with you to learn from them. So I was intelligent enough to say, okay, well, why does he say this? Why does he say he's an expert? So I actually gave it a chance and listened, and I'm like, oh, no, see, that's what I'm saying. Yes, but he filled in so many other blanks too. But about the pattern and the hunting pattern, and that this was an elaborate hunting system that they're doing in all of our woods, and humans are walking into these traps. So I sent him the pictures of the structure that looked like almost like a wagon wheel, the way it was laid out, and he didn't reply. So no biggie. And then I'm still looking at Facebook posts. Well, he was being knocked out of groups right and left for just trying to warn people. People will say, ask an Indian. The Indians say, and then completely blow him off. He's like, I'm an Indian. I'm saying, hello,
I'm an Indian.
And I could see him bashing him and calling him names, but he can't respond because they would come in, they'd say something crappy, and then they block him where he couldn't respond, but he can read it. He just can't defend himself in any kind of way. And then they started saying that he was a fraud, and that kind of made me mad because I'd already
sell for money.
Yeah, and I'd already looked into his background and into other posts and history, and so I got on there, hadn't never talked to him at this point, and I'm like, look, y'all can say a lot of things. You can say he's arrogant. You can say you don't agree with the conclusions that he's reached, and say you disagree with what he's saying. But that's a whole lot different than calling somebody a con man or a fraud or I don't remember the exact words, but it's a lot. Basically calling somebody a thief, really, that's what that is. And I got to call y'all on this. I don't even know this person, never met him, but just look into it, research. You could see that that's money is not his motivation. I can guarantee you that he 100% believes what he is saying. Then I started getting knocked out of one group after another. And so he could see my comment, some comments that I made defending him. And he's like, well, what? Somebody's defending me? Somebody's actually not calling me names, or what? Who the heck is this? And so then, it was simply he hadn't had time. He gets sent a lot of photos and questions and things like that, which is why we wrote the book, so that it would answer all those questions. And then he saw that one structure, and he's like, whoa, okay, there may be something, there is something there. But he says, why do you need my verification?
Validation.
Oh, why do you need my validation? And I'm thinking, I don't need your validation, but what do you think? And so then, by then I already knew that there was a portal there on another section of that land. For real, I've shown the pictures of that, very, very clear. And I didn't know what to do about it, but I know that I'm getting all this activity that's getting creepier and creepier and creepier, more and more stalkerish, weirder and weirder photos I'm capturing. I'm seeing mist. I'm just learning how to see some things I can, and it's always been that way with spirit world too. First it looks like a mist to me, and then it gets clearer. And it's that way with these things too, or it just doesn't look the right color. And so I had seen that, and this is all, I know that there's a heavy concentration of it around this portal area where everything is dead, in this lush green East Texas forest. The bad feeling, bad vibes, but my big old Rottweiler wouldn't even go in there. So anyway, I asked if he was going to be tracking with someone else. I'm watching the live streams. By then, I'm watching just like y'all do, and I asked him, "Can we close this portal? With this is putting some bad stuff, bad things going through here, through this area." And he and another tracker, we went and did. Yeah, they came down here.
But we had more trackers that were supposed to come.
Yeah.
But so something happened, and
And they
something
couldn't.
happened, and
Yeah.
it also had to ask for gas money. That's like, I ain't got
Yeah.
the funds to get down.
Yeah.
We just got there with
And
this
you didn't
track.
even have a car. You borrowed a car from someone to come help.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we had a ceremony, and we said some prayers, and all of us, and we closed that portal. And as soon as we closed it and said our prayers, a wind blew through, like, and then this was in fall, and it actually turned out to be on the fall equinox that we did that. But that was, God, that wasn't,
And we tracked
none
that
of us
land.
even planned that day. Yeah. And but it was a perfect day to do that, because more things would have opened up and come through on that day. And so we were praying against that. And a couple weeks later, when I went back out there, so this is in fall, late fall, or it's getting into the fall season, late September, and everything's starting to bloom and turn green again in this area that had been dead. I'd lived on that property for 12 years, and it had been just dead. When they're infested in an area, that's what it looks like. Everything's dead. Everything's ugly. It's just ugly. If you see it, you'll know. It feels ugly. It feels heavy, and changed the whole energy of that, the whole feeling of that. And there was a lot of other weird experiences that had happened for me before then, in that same area, really all 30 acres of the property. And, the ones I couldn't explore. But anyway, so we found the tracks, and we did some casting and things like that.
We tracked it to
More
the
weird
property
things,
line.
yeah. And the hunting was there. He said that. He said that. So that property ended by this little dirt road, and then there's more woods, thick woods on the opposite side of that, and the creek cut through my property and the next property, all three properties, under the road, and continued over there. And he said, well, and I would find bones from time to time, but not very many. And he said, well, they're hunting here, but they're eating over there. That wasn't property I had access to, but I remember him saying that. And so it was a few months later, I guess. And we tracked there, and then we tracked in Oklahoma, and we tracked in Colorado, and we, several of us. And then it was a while later when one of my children, young, she's a teenager. She had snuck down the road. She was going to get on a little, she had a little tiny dirt bike. And I didn't know, but she was going to go sneak down the road and vape. But I thought she said she was just going to go ride her dirt bike down the road. So she went down there, and she comes back just a few minutes later, and she's all excited, and she's carrying a goat's head. And she says, Mom, I knew you would think this was so cool, because she knew my interest in, if I could find a bone, I would study it. I'd look for teeth marks. I was trying to figure out what killed it, how did it kill it, that kind of thing. Just learning. And
A skull.
yeah, it was a goat skull.
Not
Yeah, goat skull.
head.
Yeah, goat skull. It was clean. It
Goat
had no
head.
flesh on it, but it was the whole skull with the horns. And she said, "You won't believe it. There's so many more." Well, she had gone down that dirt road and cut across over into now this property across the road where he said the hunting was going on was being parceled out. The man he had 30 acres over there, and he'd had them for over 30 years, and he's going to parcel them up and sell them. And I'm like, whoa, what? I grab a milk crate, and I'm like, put it in here. You shouldn't have touched that. But because we don't know what's the deal with this, I wish that you hadn't touched it. Yes, I think it's cool. Yes, I think it's very interesting. But let's go back. What do you mean there's a ton of bones there? So let's go back down there and look. And that's where I posted videos of the boneyard before there. It was the part that I got to see, or that she and I got to see. I went a little further in than she did. Was as big as a football field of nothing but bones and feathers, and I just can't tell you. There was cow, raccoon, skunk, deer, goat, sheep, large birds, egrets, cranes, squirrel, you name it, forest animal and farm animals. I don't remember seeing any horse head or horse skulls, but I only got as far as the cow skulls. So I'm not knowing that, okay, this man's, the dirt road goes like this, and then there's a dumpster there, and this man's got some loggers coming in to start parceling up the property. And that was the little dirt road, the little cut-in road that she had driven her dirt bike down to vape. Well, she didn't know that he's monitoring that whole area with his game cams. And it's really weird for there to be a dumpster when they're clearing land. Who does that? They don't use dumpsters. They don't use trash dumpsters when they're clearing land. What he was doing was getting rid of all those skulls so that he could sell that property, and nobody would know that there was all that death there. But anyway, so I'm walking, and I'm trying to live stream or not live stream, but I'm trying to FaceTime him, but I don't remember the reason, no connection, whatever. So I just managed to get videos, and my hands are shaking by that time. I'd never seen, this was the first and biggest graveyard or boneyard to date that I've seen. So I think I clicked twice, and I pushed the button twice, you know how when you record, and I turned it on and right back off. So I missed some of it. I missed down at the end where it looked like, and I've been living around loggers my whole life. East Texas is logging country. This wasn't logging. It would look like a monster fight back in there. The trees smashed and broken. And if you've seen that, you know, you'll recognize it. This wasn't from the clearing of the land. It looked like it really looked like they barely got in there. They cleared that little path and they got out of there. And then the monsters, either they had their fight then or they had it after that, but they rampaged through there. And so I got as far as that, but then here comes that property owner on his ATV. Well, I've got a sidearm. My daughter has a sidearm. You know, like I said, hogs and whatever. We didn't know what we were going to run into. Country people do that. And he comes in there and he's hopping mad. And he's like, "What are you doing down here? This is my property." And I'm saying, "Sir, I'm concerned for you. Do you realize what you're in the middle of here?" I said, "You've got Bigfoot here, and this is their hunting. Like, do you see all these structures? Do you see all these things? Do you know what you're looking at? Do you know that's what these bones are coming from?" He said, "I've been here 30 years. There's no, that ain't him." He was lying. I could tell he was lying. He just wants to get that property parceled up and get out of there. You don't want anybody to know those things are there. He said, "I ought to call the law on you." And I said, "She just came down here to turn around and, you know, it's just a new little cut-in road. It's, you know, nobody's even living on it, whatever." No, she didn't. She came down here to vape. That's how I found out she'd gone down there to vape, because he'd seen her on game camera. But he was watching that property really close, you know, just for a random place in the woods, huh? But you don't know there's Bigfoots there. Why would you be doing that? What's to steal? There's nothing here but destroyed trees at the end and bones everywhere. And he said, "I ought to call the law on you." And I said, it's fine. We'll go. It's no problem. But I'm seriously concerned for you. And like, you need to know what's here. This is bad. This whole thing is bad, you know? And, but he was more concerned about hushing it. So, but he leaves. Now, I don't know anyone that would throw somebody off their property and then not wait to make sure they leave. He was scared to be there. He's looking around. He was scared. He did know what was there. He was scared to be there. Us out of there, so we'd keep our mouths shut and not tell anybody what was going on. He never did call the law. And so that whole scene was just crazy. But I lost my milk crate that had the skull in it, and because I was like, just leave it, let's go, because I brought it back, you know, I brought the skull back, and the amount of sheep's heads and goat skulls, it was nuts. But anyway, so that was my first. But the point is, that whole area that he said that's where they're hunting, or that's where they're eating. He said they're hunting over here, they're eating over there. He was 100% correct. Had never set foot on that property. And I found that time after time after time. And then, let's see. The next big thing to happen is, you know, I'd been out in the woods, like I said, clearing land, constantly trying to clear land and push back the forest. You got to stay on top of it or it'll cover your house if you don't. But I'm moving out further and further, trying to clear cool little campgrounds, and got my grandson there with me, my little grandson, most of that time. And then one day I walk out to the creek serpentined through the land, cut through the land. And there was a spot in a bend of a creek that had his rope swing, and then I had a little wooden swing there, and I would sit and I would watch him on the rope swing going across the creek. But I went out there one morning, I was by myself, and I looked, and I can see their hunting structure now has completely encircled his rope swing. He was the next prey. They set up the ambush blinds all around it. They had the little trigger mechanism where if he stepped here, it would rattle and make a noise over there. And it was the same pattern that they would hunt deer, or, you know, it was all everything that we teach about in this book. And I still have a little clip where I'm looking around and I go, Jesus. And I still get chills thinking about it. And I was literally calling Jesus, like, oh my God. Because of the, like, by then I had long since, and I didn't gift very long. That was a couple of real short things. And I learned quickly that's a bad idea. But because of the misinformation and the disinformation that I had gotten from these people that reject him and block him and disrespect, because I, you know, like when the guy said no disrespect, but I was like, that totally sounds like disrespect.
Here it comes.
But the misinformation in the movies, and disinformation. Disinformation is when they're telling you wrong on purpose. Misinformation is when they're telling you wrong because they don't know any better. And plain old naive people, tree huggers, whatever. We all love nature. We love nature. That's why we're always in it. And that's why we want to teach you to go do it safely. But anyway, I felt responsible. Partly, they were going to encroach no matter what, but they came much sooner because of my interactions with them. By now, I found they were tunneling through the creek bank in towards the house, you know, but my little grandson would have been their next prey, you know. That's a sobering thing. That's a life-altering moment. My entire life has changed because of this. Like all the odd studies through my whole life, the odd obsessions that people didn't understand, they all make sense. That I didn't understand, they all make sense to me now because they all culminated right here with what we're doing. This is what our purpose is. And but man, that was a close call with my grandson. You know, I was doing so many things wrong. Sending the girls out to dump the scraps there in the woods for the animals, like so many things that we tell y'all not to do, because I didn't know, because nobody taught me. So, but I'd have totally had open ears if somebody would have been willing to teach me. I wouldn't have mocked it and dismissed it, and like a lot of people do with us. So we're still, you know, really truly, we shouldn't be such a small channel. I know we're not fancy with technical things, but our information is solid and it's better than anything we see out there. And it's like, I think it was Elastic Machinery said the other day that, it may not have been him, forgive me if it's someone else. If the people that don't believe us are wrong, that's a much bigger deal than if we're wrong. We're not wrong, but there's nothing to lose by pushing back your wood lines, cutting down these blinds, even if you think the storm caused it. Get them out of there. Not engaging with these things, not feeding these things. You've got absolutely nothing to lose by not doing those things, and by protecting your family and keeping, even from human predators, keeping a clean line of sight not putting your trash outside for any kind of scavengers. That's what we don't get. These are things that should be common sense anyway. You shouldn't let everything get overgrown where it can make it easy for a burglar to hide, a meth head to hide. You shouldn't be having trash outside where bears can get into it, and other animals that will bite and attack. Even small predators can hurt, much less these things. And we're teaching that there's a spiritual aspect to it. What harm is it in praying? What harm is it in, the things we're saying bring absolutely no harm to anyone. We're not even saying go out there and kill these things, but we're saying defend yourself. If they come near you, you push back. You'd be ready to defend yourself. Had people try to make me feel guilty for carrying a weapon when I'm a woman alone in the woods. That's insanity. That's another thing. Some of these groups, everybody needs to learn how to be armed and be armed for human predators just as much as these things, and to know where to hit them. We teach every bit of that in this book. It's a little book, but it's a wealth of information. We're very, very proud of it, with good reason, So there's my story, minus a few really weird encounters. But
I was just gonna say that Trackalorna and 1-7 brought up a thing about people being in denial. And we've been to a lot of places where people say, "Oh, they're not around here," and then when we look around, but you got all these traps and blinds and
last
bows.
Week.
And
last week. Well, I don't want to say the name, but we could see it was somebody that we stopped to visit, and we could see right across the street was.
We've been to so many places I don't remember
in
the area.
TP. No. H. Going all down that road. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter, but.
Oh yeah. We actually found a Bigfoot there.
Yeah.
In the shadows.
Yeah.
And they were denying, like, oh, I don't know if they're around here or not. And they've got a pull down. We're standing there by a tree that's got a pull down where they put a tree stand. And right there was a pull down. And we went down the road and there were some bows and we took some pictures and there was actually a Bigfoot in one of the pictures.
Yeah.
And we're on our way to Wright City. And in town, there's bows, bins.
That's a really disturbing video.
If you ever seen that video, listen to it. Even we played that video during or there's even a little short video called Some Things Wrong in Wright City. And that's inside the town. And people there was a person, the reason we had to do a voiceover, because there was another person there who was saying, "Oh, you don't believe," and the person who called us, he's saying, "Oh, you don't believe that, do you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I've seen it." And he goes, "Oh, okay, well," he goes, "if I seen it, I'd have killed it. I would have done it." This guy didn't have a weapon.
Not listening to anything that
this guy was intoxicated.
Yeah.
This guy was,
great person when we first met him, and if he can get a handle on that, he'll be even greater. But for this purpose, he's going to feel really, really terrible, or he would, if the not listening caused the person that we went to, or the distraction caused the person that we went to not to be able to hear something that could cost his.
And I didn't hear everything that the man was saying.
No, so we had to redo it again. Yeah. And I'm glad we did that one. And it's nothing against that man, but he doesn't. He didn't
want to learn. He didn't want to learn.
No, he just wanted to mock and
try to make
fun, and then he go, no disrespect. But then.
And when we're trying to record and talk about what we're seeing, he would be cussing and talking in the background, so we had to
Couldn't use
cut
any of
all
it.
that out.
But we'll be going back again, and
There's more people in that area who've seen these things, who know they're there, and there's some people that just refuse to look at the signs, even though we were showing them from street
literally
to street,
showing them.
down the road, everywhere we went.
And his friend is saying, my little girl looks over there and says, "That's my friend," talking about the Bigfoot. But that's how much she's seen that predator that's zeroing in on this little bitty, precious little thing, like not even 3, I don't think, or right around 3, tiny. But she's seen it so much, she thinks that's her friend.
And those people, they're a danger to the community, because they're going to go around saying, "Oh, don't believe that," or "Don't believe them," or, they have no proof, or, even though we wrote a book, we got a DVD. In the DVD, there are Bigfoots in the DVD. There's video of Bigfoots in the DVD.
And the friend that called you, he's known you his whole life. You know, that's why he called. He's been watching the channel a while, and he'd already started taking a lot of the measures that we talk about on here. He basically just wanted validation, but he'd already started hiring somebody to
push everything back, clear that line of sight.
Yeah, he's doing a real good job.
Yeah,
but it took the predator literally up against the house, peeking around the corner on the end at the girlfriend in the pool. The pool is just steps away, above ground, round pool. Kids playing in it, big overgrown bush. So they hear growling from the bush. They hear the mimicking of the children where the children were not. They just everything that we put in the book was happening right there in the middle of town. And then he saw it walking down under the street light in town, one of them.
And we even tracked that area, and we tracked all the way back to this one bridge and come up and walked on the side. And our same friend called us and said, "You remember where y'all come up off that bridge and up?
Out of that hole?"
He said, "My friend seen another one come straight up out of that area, look around and come out of that hole."
And what it was a big culvert, or, like a little bridge kind of thing, that ravine that we were following in that video. And you'll see it if you watch the video.
It's got tracks all the way through there, bows.
We've been doing it a while. And when people say, "How come they don't know? How come they haven't seen anything?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're fast learners. I don't know." We catch on quicker.
Yeah, we're a little quicker, I guess.
So we don't put up with we're not doing it for fun, put it that way. There's a million other things we could be doing, but this is what we're supposed to be doing.
And we don't want to watch other channels and football games. And
we would way rather, well, other than our Reaction Wednesday, where we would like you to send us some videos that we will respond to.
So that's going to be for y'all.
Errors are. Yeah, that's for y'all. We think you would really enjoy that.
We need y'all to send us video of any channel you want, or those MVTV clips. We're not going to go look for channels. We're not going to call anybody out. But
we don't have the time to watch ours. But.
Yeah, because we still got things to do. But we're going to do that on Wednesdays. We want you to send us a video, especially if you already know that somebody's doing something wrong. Send it in, and we'll validate that. We'll say, "Yeah, they're doing this wrong. That's a trap. That's a blind."
What we don't need, and please don't take this the wrong way, is validation for us videos. We would rather you send our information to the people that you're suing. "Hey, these people, this reminded me of what y'all are saying." We would rather you send them our information to fill in their gaps, because we already know.
Because they're maybe getting one thing right.
Yeah, because at times when we've watched them,
and then the other things are doing wrong. But
and we don't have time to watch all of it. So if you would narrow things down so we could do the reaction videos, that would be cool, and it might actually be a little bit fun.
Yeah. And whoever told us to watch Shadows of Bigfoot, I don't know if it's our trackers or if it's
And
someone.
it could be because it, it showed them as predators and not. Yeah. That's good.
But from the get go, first 2-3 words, we're like, oh my goodness. But then again, we realize it's a script and everything. And
yeah.
Like they're just doing everything wrong in that video.
At least. And here's another thing.
But they had the outcome.
They always have just one predator.
They had the outcome of doing everything wrong. The outcome was exactly what would have happened.
Yeah. Now the best movie that we've seen, I think, the closest would be, was it Primal Rage?
Well, the rape does happen in that one.
And that there's more than one, and the cunning way that they disguise their looks, and
it's called.
You would say what one?
Big Country or Big Legend or Legend, Big Legend, Country Legend, something like that. It's probably.
And really, Bone Tomahawk. They said that it was about natives, but Bone Tomahawk, if you replace the natives with Bigfoots, that one was.
Yeah, that was exactly.
That
what
covered
Bigfoots
a lot
would
of
do.
things too. Yeah, disturbing movie. But should we read comments?
Yeah, we can do some comments. But people are in. A lot of people are. We've been to a lot of places where people are in denial. They'll say they don't have any Bigfoots, but we see all the structures, all the blinds surrounding them. And the more we talk to them, they start remembering, oh yeah, my cat was underneath the laundry for 2 days with eyes this big and wouldn't come out. And oh yeah, we heard some things. Oh yeah, our dogs are missing. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or they'll call us for help, and we've had this happen more than once. And we'll teach them everything we can with the time that we have. And then we leave, and then they go start talking to somebody else, and then they go waffle back the other way because now they're talking to Bigfoot lovers. So then they're right back to some are good, some are bad. They're not. They're not. There will never be some are good, some are bad. You're either DNA. Food in the pantry and a future food supply source, or you're bringing them food. If you're gifting and they're okay with you right now, it's because you're gifting. You're bringing them. Duh.
Yeah.
So stop.
A wolf will let you pet it and raise it as long as you're feeding it. Run out of food, see what happens. See what happens
Die
to your
and
kid.
See what eats your body.
See what happens to your other small pets. They're going to eat them.
Yeah. But what'll happen, they'll, and it's another thing that's come up, is the mind speak. They recognize they're terrified, and then the mind speak happens because there's been a psychic connection now, which is another thing that is not like a normal animal predator. And
that's something God is not, he didn't make us to be conversing with demons or being accepted, speaking to predator creatures in our minds.
No, the demons do that. The demons say, don't be afraid of poor little me. No other creature should be talking and putting words into your mind. That's for you and God, you and God, you and God, period. Anything else is trying to infiltrate your mind is the enemy. That's the deception. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen people that knew better, had been terrified, had terrifying experiences, but now they've got a mind-speak connection. Once they started messing with people that are doing astral travel, remote viewing, psychics, the Bible warns us over and over. It cannot be more specific. Listen, I used to be all about it. It's not the mind speak with these things, but I just didn't recognize the harm of the talking to spirits, or how they'll do the whole thing. It's just a lost soul that needs help finding its way into the light. Bible doesn't tell us that. Bible never tells us that. It says stay away from that stuff. Test the spirits.
Yeah, see what they are. They'll flee.
Yeah, and
those people who are mind speaking, you don't see them on this channel. They know this. They say
Yeah, we're consistent.
And we're not going to agree with them.
And it's not because we don't love them. We do. That's the frustrating part of it.
Some.
Some, yeah, some, not all.
Because I don't, if they're rude or if they're mocking, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
care
I'm talking
for them.
about only certain ones. But the
There's
mind
too many people who
speaking
need
is
help.
the deception, because now they've switched from, well, I'm getting that some are back to that some are good, some are bad. It's you know, but you knew before that they were all
That
bad.
deceiver is telling you.
Some are good, some are
Some
bad.
are good or some are bad. That deceiver is telling you.
It's the same deceiver that's going to pretend to be your great Aunt Edna, and you know, or your recently lost loved one that's
That
come
predator
to visit you. That's a predator. It
is
knows
telling
your weaknesses. It might know your love for nature, so it wants to convince you that it loves nature too, and you. Well, things that love nature don't reach inside them, pull them inside out, tie them in a knot, throw them on a trail. They don't pop the heads off things and or strangle something while they look in its eye to absorb that essence. So that's evil. All things which happen.
drown people and drink their blood.
Rape them, poke them with sticks, you know, laugh maniacally, make them think they're crazy, play tricks on them. So sick of hearing mischievous spirits. Poltergeists are just mischievous spirits.
No, they're
fairies are just mischievous. No, they're all predators, little predators, big
they're
predators.
planning and making.
They're tormenting.
An opportunity.
Yeah, creating an opportunity. That's evil. That's a level of evil.
That's setting you up. That's. They're wanting your blood. They're wanting your flesh and your awareness, your essence.
And these people that are gifting, they end up getting overwhelmed, and then they try to get a hold of people like us that to help them get rid of the problem, or they just run off on the problem. And now
somebody else,
just like this man with all these bones on his property, you leave that problem with someone else, or they just flat disappear. We'll know what happened to them. I guess they just got abandoned, or they got abducted, or they got lost, or you know, whatever million other reasons somebody can come up with. Let me read the comments. I said I was going to read comments.
But even back with the denial, I mean, we can go down just any road and see these things. They're everywhere.
Since 2020, they have moved into these cities.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we just used one of our techniques from the book, Thunder and Lightning, page 66. If you watched this from the beginning, if you haven't, watch it again.
Yeah. Tracker Lorna says denial is dangerous.
Yeah. That's whenever they brought it up.
Yeah, Cube says insidious. Yeah. Cube says scoffers, knockers, mockers, and trolls hate truth and will do anything to suppress it. Yeah.
Yeah.
JR says I like. Oh, by the way, hit like. There's 17 people in there. Hopefully there's at least that many likes.
JR's got his wrench over there. He's ready to use it.
Good. War Chief's here.
Hey, War Chief. Hey,
Mary's
Cheetah.
here. Mary says excellent and enlightening.
All right.
She's somebody that's been scoffed at. Has a freaking predator Bigfoot hybrid wolf print.
Bigger than her.
She's size 10 shoe. It's huge next to her shoe. And she got dismissed.
I said it was cats and a 7-foot possum.
Yeah. Yeah. A game ranger or a forest guy said it's looking in her daughter's window as a teenager by this time. What other animal does that? It's looking in her daughter's window, and when he comes out and inspects, the window's like 7 feet off the ground. And he says it was a possum. She said, "You mean to tell me that's a 7-foot possum?" He said, "Yep." Criminal. It's criminal. The cover up in the lie. He knew it wasn't. And then earlier, when the teen daughter was a little girl and they're walking and they heard the the wolf hybrid.
And you can go
Walking
back
wolf.
and
We call
find
it
them.
walking wolf. Yeah, look up the
Mary's
live
Walk.
stream on Mary's Walk or on interviews or case interviews. Look up those live streams. Mary's Walk. She's been several with her. She's wonderful. And but so she's trying to tell people. Just a second. Her husband said maybe it was just a cat. Well, cats don't rumble your chest like a lion. They don't have infrasound. A house cat, come on. And she tried to call the sheriff. He laughs at her. What are you calling me for? She's like, I just want to find, did maybe some zoo animals escape, or trying to make sense of it. He said, well, call the was it the army? Call the military base nearby. She calls them. They're like, what are you calling us for? Well, because the sheriff told me to. Well, we can't do nothing about it. What's she supposed to do? Imogene Scott, how you doing, Imogene?
Imogene.
She says, besides prayer, do you visualize protection such as white field all around you? Apologies if I'm not asking until you're done. No, tonight's more of a free chatting night, Imogene.
But no, we don't need to do that. Once we pray, we know we're protected, and we've already made our choice. So we're children of God. We're not fence riders. So there's a big difference, and you'll know that once you're there, because you can go out and do what you have to do with no fear, and you know God's got you. So there's no fear when you're out there. And people who's been out there with us, you can tell they get nervous sometimes, and we're walking calm. Our heart rate is still the same, and we're still doing what we have to do, and we got a plan, and we know when to come back. We're not going out trying to get into a big firefight with them, or
no,
start something like that. We're just making sure we don't want them here, so we push them back. But being a child of God, you understand God's got you, so you don't need to envision and do things. You just know that you're protected and you're guarded, and you have angels. So you've got a lot of backup on backup. So don't worry. When you're a child of God, you don't worry. Just pray for you, the entire team when you go out, for everybody to make it home safe. When you get back, pray again before you come back in.
That nothing's followed you back.
That nothing followed you back. Trust God. That's
good
it.
question.
Good question.
Bernard is here.
Hey, Bernard. All right.
Truth Walker's here.
Truth Walker. All right.
Cube, thank you.
Cube, yeah, I've seen that.
And thank you for that comment too. Imogene says, sorry, but it seems like he was watching your daughter. Absolutely. Shade is here.
Hey, Shade.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Did you wait for me to say the Shade?
And then Lorna.
Tracker Lorna.
Shade says, great show. Salute. Salute to you too, Shade.
All right.
Cube says, Shadows of Bigfoot sounds like a video not to watch. The acting's pretty bad.
Yeah, don't watch that one. It'll just irritate you.
It's gory, it's gross.
It'll irritate you.
It'll irritate you.
It'll irritate
they do
trackers.
Everything wrong.
They do everything wrong. Trackers would get irritated watching this.
And if you took the F word out, it'd cut the script in half.
Yeah.
Night Stars is here.
Hey, Night Stars. All right.
Good group, good group.
All right.
Cube says, shooting in the shadows is also throwing the knot. My rock sling hard. Good. Caught up on.
All right. So tonight, we started off because the storm, we was inside, we heard boom, boom. So thunder's in the area. And we went out there, but we've used the alarm. And like we read that whole section on thunder and lightning. This was the time we had to use the shotgun. And when thunder, and we could, in the beginning, it was on our side. And so we heard the thunder and we shot over there. We heard some over here, shot over there. We weren't going to shoot towards anyone who, I mean, we know where everybody lives, so we're not going to shoot in those areas. Only in our areas on our land, which is all private and it goes back far and there's no homes back there. So that's, and then on this stream, we're saying, now listen, it's over there. It's not on our side anymore. And but everything we said, everything that's in that book, in that section, happened right here in the stream. And we read it off and we said, but while we're doing it, we read off what was in the book, and it was exactly what we was doing, almost step for step. And we use these techniques. They work. We know they work. They will deter the Bigfoots from your area, these predators from your area. They will go around you next time. They don't want the exposure. They don't want to be harmed, because these other predators will eat them if they are wounded, if they are bleeding or hurt or wounded in any way. The other predators will eat them, and they know that, so they try not to get shot, wounded, anything. But they are predators, and we also said they will try to come back if you don't wait until they're completely out of the area. They're going to wait until you're not watching, or you go back in the house, and they're going to come back around. And our Wi-Fi went out, our phone went out, and our thermal went out. So we had to come in and get it charged. And as soon as we got inside, maybe 10 minutes after we got inside, you heard that boom, 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 big rumble, because they knew we weren't outside anymore. So we grabbed our phone while we're reading out of the book. We're using the car alarm now while we're reading in the book on what we're doing. When we talked about,
as you can say, page number.
Page 66, but I think it's right here.
Pages 66 and 67. Do not use a pattern.
Yeah, it says make the alarm sound. Do not use a pattern when ringing to deter the predators. You know, we're reading out of the book, but we're doing exactly what we're saying do. That's in the book, and we're doing it, and you can hear the thunder leave. It's going around us now. It's because it knows we're aware of it, and it's in the book. We wrote it. It's right there.
Yeah, we're not talking about God's thunder.
And we're not guessing. We're not guessing. We're giving you exactly what to do when these things happen. I believe it was Truthwalker who told us that she knew that we knew what we was talking about because we was the only one talking about it, and she actually experienced it. She knew that that thunder was down low. It wasn't a normal thunder. So she knew that we knew what we was talking about. At that point, she knew because no one else was talking about it. We've told other people about it and they scoffed. But the people who use it found out this works, and that if that's a real storm, it's not going to stop.
Right.
And you're going to hear it up there. You're not going to hear it ground level across the street or next house over or in your backyard on the ground. But it's in the book. There's more information in the book, more information that's ever been put out there.
But we've tried it we've had people try this method in Louisiana, Alabama,
Australia, Canada, Mexico, all different states, Alabama, like she's saying. If you read the book and use the techniques, you will deter from your area. Can't help your neighbors who don't listen. We can't help the neighbors who are going to scoff. Oh, we can only protect you. And we don't have time to go to everyone's house or have phone calls 6-7 hours a day. So that's why we wrote the book. So you can order the book and you can read through it. It's going to answer your questions.
It's good to have anyway, and really to me, it's available in electronic too, whatever you call that, like Kindle form. But it's good to have a hard copy that you can make notes and write.
In Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing everything we can to get it, and we'll do a book signing with this with Jose and Tanya soon.
Yeah.
Everything we can to get this information out to people.
What was the last two?
Imogene says, I always see a lot of portals in your pictures. What is your technique to close them? And has there ever been retribution when one has been closed?
How could there be retribution if it's closed?
Yeah, no,
But
no,
what you need to do is use something, a horn or something to break up that frequency. And then close it with God. Close it with the word.
Like you could use a shofar, you could use a recording of a shofar, or
A conch is what we
conch
use.
shell.
Um,
Even bells.
because it's there, so you have to distort that, and then you can close it.
And have with prayer and faith in the name of Yeshua, we pray to the Creator, and in Jesus' name, Yeshua's name, Yahusha's name.
But just like Satan, if you are not a child of God, if you haven't made your decision already, Satan, they're going to laugh at you.
Yeah, they recognize if you have faith or not. So just have the faith.
Because you'll look them straight in the eye and say, go.
Yeah.
Because you know, behind you, you've got angels. And God is watching from above, so, or all around. So being a child of God is a whole different story than being someone who's lukewarm or questions if this is going to work or not.
Or this week I'm going to choose this God, and next week that God. And you can't go wrong with the Creator and His Son that came here, you know.
And don't doubt anything. One prayer is all you need. And let it
go.
because
you don't want to go and say, oh, I hope that worked. Oh, I hope that worked. You know, no, just trust that it worked.
Know it's going to work. And let it go. You got other things to do. You just gave that to God, and God's going to take care of that. But make that choice if you haven't made it. You'll understand after that you can walk and do whatever you need to do. You'll have the full armor on. You'll be protected, guarded. You'll have angels with you. And God will instruct those angels. Make sure this one has no woes. You know, woe is catching an angel off guard or having a catastrophe happen where an angel goes, whoa. There will not be any woes because that angel is assigned to protect you, to guard you. So, I don't know. I think, and we were just doing this to show you that these techniques work.
Yeah, we didn't even plan on getting on tonight. The storm rolled up quick.
And it was,
If you read the Book of Enoch too,
you could hear the thunder and everything going on. And there was a time to use the shotgun snuff. We you these techniques work when you're deterring these predator Bigfoots. But you got to know they're going to work. And if you haven't read the book, get the book. Learn all the techniques. There's more techniques in it. This is full of information and knowledge, things that are passed down, things that are from the ancient times, things that are from tribal knowledge. It's all in here, in this book. If you don't have the book, you're going to have questions.
Lyrical Jazzy's in here, but she's fixing to have to go to bed soon.
Yeah, for us two, we're going to have to close because we were just showing that these techniques work. Even, if you got questions, get the book. Read through that book.
Hundreds of live streams and videos.
Hundreds of live streams and videos. Go through our videos. Go through the playlist. That information's there. Your answer, whatever it is, it's in the playlist, it's in the book, or it's in the DVD. It's already been answered for you. Do your homework too. You know, a lot of people just want to try to come in and get one answer, but it's not that simple, because that one answer is going to lead to another question and another question and another question, another question. But we put the answers in the book. It's in the DVD. It's in these live streams. It's in the videos that we put up, the playlist. It's all there for you to protect you, to protect your family. But do your work too. You know, God even wants you, the Creator wants you to do your work too. Wants you to have all the information. Most of it's, you know, we talk about it all the time. We put it in the book for you. It's also in the Bible. You know, we put techniques that, you know, work, that we know works in the Bible too. To don't break your threshold, to have faith in God, you know, trust God. Even if your house feels like it's going to break down, if there's a tornado outside your front door, keep your trust in God, and your house is going to be okay. Mm-hmm. You're going to be okay. Your family's going to be okay. But you break and run, you head off to the city public shelter. If you don't make it, or if you break your threshold, you lose your faith, you lose your trust in God. Those predators know once you come outside in that storm, they can take you, and they're going to destroy your house to make it look like an accident. They'll set it on fire. They'll go through your refrigerator first, get all that food, you know, trash. They'll throw everything through your windows, smash everything to make it look like the tornado hit your home. But once you give them permission, which that's even in the book, in Thunder and Lightning, page 66. Just read that alone. And we talk about this. And we talk about this, and we talk about this.
The full armor of God. Yeah.
We're only here to help you. But you got to help yourself too. You got to get the information. You know, God's children die from lack of knowledge, but there's knowledge here. The knowledge has been, and we've given the knowledge away. You know, we've probably given away more books and DVDs than we've sold.
For sure.
We order them and we pass them out. We know you need it. We pass it out.
Yeah. As far as local people here
well, every place we go, we're always giving books out because we know people need it, and we know some people can't afford the $25, so we give it away. And we've given away more books than we've sold. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. But we didn't get to open with a prayer.
I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Asked for prayer for protection from the storm. We didn't open with it, but we did it out there.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. We did.
There's something I was going to say.
But there's no other channel that's going to tell you the truth.
Jazzy says, don't ever doubt or be wishy-washy. Trust that God always has your back. Absolutely.
That's right. Thank you, Jazzy.
Cube says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. Psalm 91.
Sure will. Yes. You are guarded.
Scott's life.
Hey, Scott's life.
Just entered or just let us know he's here. How you doing? And hopefully you got that phone call you were looking for. Mm-hmm. Says just stopping in to say hello and give a thumbs up. Oh, good.
Oh, thank you, Scott.
I think he's been watching.
Let us know when you're in the area every time.
Imogene says, no worries, my choice was made a long time ago. Good.
Good.
Glad to hear that. Right. Yeah, there's still so many people then. I've even heard someone say, I'm just covering all my bases. In other words, if I'm over here, I'll worship that just in case, and over there, I'll worship that just in man. That's not covering all your bases. That's being lukewarm.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're going to pray and close for the night.
Okay, so we're gonna close up for tonight. We're so happy that you're here with us to watch these techniques to see how they work. We appreciate you being here, spending this time with us. But the storm is over. The storm is past, and It's a restful and peaceful time for us now.
We've seen preachers freak out over a storm coming and put out a frantic post
to fear the congregation, to get them fearful.
Yeah, like we're like, why would you do that? Why would you do? Why are you fearful? Why would you pass that fear to your congregation? What the heck? We just can't do it.
Can't
do it. When you're praying to the one that calmed the water, calm,
The storm will go past.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lord, for everyone that's here. Thank you for your hand of covering over all of us. Thank you for helping this channel to grow and the information that you're giving to us, that you're showing us and clarifying for us and getting it out there. We just love you. We thank you for your protection in every storm, that we never have to be afraid. We thank you that we never go hungry. And we love you for everything that you do. And we really hope that you had a good day too, Lord, with all the things you have to watch. Don't have to watch, but all the madness. We love you. Thank you. And bless everybody. Keep them safe. And no dreams unless they're from you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
This was a spur of the moment thing. And,
hey, Todd Calloway's.
Todd,
What
we are
did you
not
say?
leaving because you just came in the room, Todd. You'll have to go back and listen to the stream.
Yeah.
And but we had just wrapped it up. But always glad to see your name. Hey, I should show that one piece and ask what it is. You might know. No?
No, we'll do another thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we already closed in prayer.
Yeah.
Thank you to the moderators and thank you to everybody that was here. Good to see all your names. And if you would like, share, subscribe, check your notification buttons. Go over to the Lead Tracker E channel too. And I've been telling y'all that we had what the Indians say about Bigfoot playlist on that channel, but it was hidden within the Standing Feather story. So now we've got it created separately and it's in there. Go over there and watch that on Lead Tracker E.
And we're going to have another video up. It should be up maybe by 12 p.m. tonight. I know a lot of people aren't up at that time, but if
made 4 videos in the last day,
we've been tired, so this is the last one. Well, we actually got another one now, but this one will be up hopefully by 12 o'clock tonight. It's a slow thing. We've been staying with it and
taking hours to upload. And
also we may put the one on that we did in the early times when the storm was really hitting and we was using the weapon, the shotgun that we talk about on page 66, Thunder and Lightning. We showed you what we was doing and we're going to talk about that. So we're going to try to get that up afterwards, maybe in the morning to do that one. So
to do like a little separate video of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because we're a little tired too. And but we still got to get this one done and it's still uploading for you. It's called Looking for the Missing Portal. You'll like that one also, and we do look for it. We're gonna have to go look for it again because we didn't find it this last time, and we're still using the technique. The thunder's in the distance, it's not here, and it's still letting us know though that it's still around. So, but it's not here. It's at the neighbors or it's over there. It's not here. It knows we're aware. So everyone have a great night and good night, warriors.
Good night, warriors.
And we'll see y'all again very soon.
Glad you were here. Thank you.
Thank you.
so beautiful.
Are we in the poop pit?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone who's lost in the woods. You'll say a prayer.